What's up, everybody? And welcome to episode 2 of the Unnatural Mom. Yes. Give it up to myself because I've made it through to another episode. I want to introduce myself to you. I am Tam Anderson, your host, and you're watching the Unnatural Mom podcast, a podcast dedicated to women who go on the journey of having a child, what I consider the unnatural way. That means you did not give birth the traditional way, but you are a mother, whether it's through surrogacy, adoption, foster care, you're a stepmom, or got a child any other way other than traditionally giving birth. On this episode, I'm going to dig a little deeper into me and my situation and how my journey of motherhood began in so many words. So let me just first start by saying, a lot of people, women, when they're younger, they have the dream of, I can't wait to be a mom, and then I'm going to have 2.5 kids, a dog, live in a house with a white picket fence, and all these sorts of things. And so in my mind, that was actually that was going to happen. So I actually wanted to be married by 25, have 2 children, and live happily ever after. But in life, sometimes you don't get what you want, right? You get what you get. And so I think around in my 30s, I was like, I would like to be a mother. And so this episode is just really, going into wanting that, trying to get that, and then dealing with the grief of that actually not happening and how you pivot, what you do to still, go on that particular motherhood journey. So mine actually started I have to always go back into saying the difficulties of me not giving birth. So I do have endometriosis. That's a medical condition that can cause, look it up really quickly. I want to give you the right definition to make sure I'm saying it correctly, but it's a condition where the tissue, similar to the lining of the uterus, grows outside of it, causes inflammation and pain, sometimes infertility. Now, I experienced all the pain. I did not know that I had this until much later on in life. And growing up, I just would have the most horrific symptoms of like being on your monthly menstruation period. It just would be a lot of pain. I'm not going into the graphic details of it all, but I did not get diagnosed until I think maybe late 20s, early 30s, maybe. And I was like, wow, no wonder. And it was horrific. And it can actually affect women in different ways. For me, it would cause horrific periods, cramps, a lot of bloating, a lot of constipation, gas, not to be too graphic, but it would cause all of that. But even despite having endometriosis, my doctor said eggs look good, ovaries look good, fallopian tubes look good. So I'm like, yes, this is great. I can actually have a baby. Now, I was not in a relationship. I was not married. So I did not have a partner that can go on this journey with me. So I'm getting older and I decided to take matters into my own hands. I said, I'm going to do artificial insemination. So with that being said, I went to the Sperm Bank and you're literally going through an album of pictures. Well, actually, I take that back. You're not going through pictures because you don't know what the donor looks like, but you're going through an album of profiles and descriptions of likes and characteristics and family history of a donor that you would be interested in using for sperm. So I'm literally flipping through the book and the pages, and then I'm picking donor number 602, for example. So I'm like, this is what I want. I see the characteristics, African American, things like that. So I go to my doctor. I have the sperm. It's literally in a container. It's frozen. You give it to your doctor, and then he performs the procedure. And so I'm super excited. I'm happy. You go through the ovulation period and you do everything that you're supposed to do. And so then you wait. And then hopefully the result is that you become pregnant. Well, I did not. Okay, so it's disappointing, of course. And mind you, it does cost money to get the sperm. It's like, it's not free. It's not like, you can put it on your insurance. This is money that you're paying out of pocket. So you wait and then it doesn't happen. So you're left with, okay, what do I do next? So in my situation, I said, I'll try it again. So you pay the money again. I say, give me donor number 602 again. And I give this container to my doctor and we try the procedure again. Now you just wait. And for me, nothing happened again. So at one particular point in time, I thought that maybe it could have happened because I don't know. And I was told that I had this metallic taste in my mouth. Now, in my research, that could mean pregnancy, but I definitely had this. I remember I'm like, why do my taste buds taste like a nickel, like literally very, very nickelish? Um, and I was like, oh my God, maybe it's working, maybe it's working. It did not. So you're kind of left with like, wow, okay, it's a costly thing. It didn't work. What do I do now? So I really went into like, maybe I should do IVF. Super expensive. Do you have the money to really do that? No, not really. There are payment plans that you can set up and do, which I really definitely thought about. And in the midst of doing that, I was like, okay, I'm going to do the foster care adoption process. And so then you're taking all of these classes to do all of that. So I'm just trying to figure out, what do I do? So it's like, how do you navigate really wanting a child and it just not happen for you naturally? What do you do? How do you pivot? um I don't know, it was very difficult. It was like a lonely time, and you're trying to mentally deal with these things on your own, and you don't really quite understand why it's not happening. It's a very lonely process, and I know a lot of women out there are going through the same thing, and they're hoping and they're planning, and they do the test and the pregnancy test, and it's like negative, negative, negative. What do? You keep trying, you give up, you just sit with it and think that, it's just something wrong with me. You don't know. It's a trying time for women when you go through that. And you have so many women out there that can give birth easily. You can sneeze on a woman sometimes and they're pregnant. Like, and so then I'm left with like, man, I'm envying the fact that you could have two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight kids. And then you have women out there that are terrible mothers, real talk, um, and do horrible things to their children. And you're just kind of like, wow, I would give anything to have a child of my own. And then you have these babies, and this is what you do. So it's rough when you're in that position, and you wish that you could, and you wish that you could, and you try and you try and you try, and it doesn't work out. And even women that don't even try in the way that which the way in which I did, by trying to do it, artificial insemination, they're married, they have partners, or they have a friend who says, I'll try to help and assist and be the father to your child. And then you try and you try and you try, and it still doesn't work out. It's like, how do you process that? What do? Do you feel alone? Do you talk to someone? Do you just keep it all to yourself? It's a form of grief. It's not like you gave birth and you lost a child, but it's still a form of grief that you can't even do it yourself. You can't, have a baby in that way. And you're left with a feeling of loneliness, I guess, because I mean, it's like not loneliness in the sense that you're lonely, but it's a very lonely feeling to be a woman and you can't do a certain thing, right? Now, in my situation, it's not like I had so many opportunities to try. I'm not going to put that out there, but I was getting older. And then there's perimenopause that's, out there. And the older you get, the least amount of eggs you can produce. And so time is of the essence. Time is ticking, 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 ticking. And you're like, what do I do? I don't know. It's like, how do you deal with that? If you're watching this, and you're a mother that figured it out and had a child not the natural way, but you did try and it didn't work out, I definitely want to talk to you and understand how you dealt with that, How long did you keep going before you finally decided to say, this is not working for me? Um, what were you feeling mentally? Like the toll that it may have taken on you. Did you feel like you were a failure? Did you feel like I'm a woman who can't do a certain thing and that's not fair, that's not right? And how can't I? And how did your partner feel? If you're trying, you've seen videos and you've seen disappointment when someone is like, we tried, let's see, let's take a pregnancy test, and then you get the results and it's negative. You know how disappointing and hurtful that can be to a woman who really, really, really wants that for for yourself. And I know for me, it was very disappointing, especially when you're spending all of the money medically and it still doesn't work out. Now, granted, I became a mother through adoption. But I'm not even talking about that. This episode is not about the adoption process. This is about what you feel when you can't do the natural thing that women can do, and that's give birth. How do you feel when that happens? It's for me, it was very lonely. A lot of tears shed, and just the question of why can't I do this? Why can't I be like that person and that person? And then you're looking like that person is not even a good mom and they don't even deserve to have the children and they're neglecting the children, or that person is abusing the children and that person is giving away so you're looking like, man, I would give anything to be in that position. And that person is able to do it so easily. How does that feel? You're watching this. I want to know. I want you to chime in. I want you to give me your comments and let me know how you handle this. And in the future, I would love for you to come onto the show to tell me how you handle it, and we can talk about it. Like I said, this is a safe place. This is a conversation that needs to be had across the board because there are so many women out there that are mothers in different ways. And if you have not been able to give birth traditionally, I want to know your story and how you work that out and how, it affected you. It's so important that we tell these stories because women every day are dealing with these sorts of things. I am one. Medical issues that can prevent women from having a baby. I know that I had, because of the endometriosis, and the pain. And that's another whole topic in itself because a lot of women suffer through that. We don't really talk about things like that. I had to have, in order to relieve some of the pain, my doctor gave me the birth control code. It's a ring, a vaginal ring called, I think it was a Nuva ring. Um, it wasn't for me. It didn't really quite work out for me because I think you wear it for like 3 weeks at a time. And birth control and me, I remember getting like the Depo-Provera shot and it just would make me bleed. I'm not trying to be, TMI, but it's the truth. And to have these conversations is very important because I know I'm not the only one that goes through things like this. But it just didn't work out for me. But in order to, of course, have the baby, I had to have not use a Nuva ring for a long time anyway. So it was a good thing. I was able to take it out and have time to like get it out of my system before I tried to go through the artificial insemination. But I just really, really want to talk to people that are experiencing currently and in the past have experienced trying to have a child and it just didn't work out, and how you dealt with that grief of really wanting to be a mother, and you couldn't, and then if you found another way to do it, like I said, you can be a stepmom, you can be a mother that adopted, but a lot of women just really want the ability to birth their child that comes out of them, because then that's your bloodline. You have a child that could look just like you, that acts just like you, or acts just like the father, or looks just like the father. But I don't get the chance to experience that. I don't know what that's like. So a part of me wishes that I could have had that. And thinking back on, I wish I could have just maybe frozen my eggs. The doctor said the eggs are still good. Maybe I could have frozen them. And maybe I could have used, a surrogate. I don't know. It didn't happen. And now I'm at the menopause stage and I think there are little to no eggs left. So it's like, now what do I do? But I just, it's a part of me that really, really wanted that. So I feel like I didn't get a chance to do something that a lot of women can do. And a lot of women can do them or do that easily. They get pregnant, they have abortions, in the abortion ban and things. That's another different story. But, they're not ready to, to have the baby, and then they abort the baby or give the baby up or whatever the case may be. But I know for me, that's it's hard because I didn't get a chance to do that. It's something that I really wanted. But I know it's a lot of you guys out there that are experiencing the same thing. And I do want to hear from you. Please drop a note in the comments. Let me know your story. I want to hear from you. And like I said, you're welcome to come onto the show and we can have that discussion, a discussion that needs to be had. And it's something that we don't talk about enough. We are women and we should be able to give birth on our own. But I am definitely grateful. I'm definitely blessed that even though that didn't happen for me, I still became a mother the unnatural way. But that's it. That's it for this show. I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Um, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. I just want you to always remember that you are a mother or not, but if you are, your journey is real and your